So what if building stronger, more resilient cities wasn't just about pouring more concrete? What if the real secret was working with nature? Today we're going to dig into a really fascinating approach to urban planning. This comes from a presentation by María Murcia of Sequoia Pro at the Regenerating to Resist event, which was part of the core project. And trust me, it's an idea that could totally flip how we think about the places we live.
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? How do you create a city that can handle things like floods or crazy heat waves, but also feels, more alive, more connected to the world around it? Well, Sequoia Pro thinks the answer lies in completely rethinking how we design our urban spaces, right from the very beginning.
Okay, so how do they even start to tackle a challenge this big? Well, they've got two main playbooks, two strategic frameworks that, even though they start from different places, are both aiming for that same goal. A city that's tougher, greener, and just plain better for all of us.
So on one hand, you've got the urban agenda. Think of this as the proactive plan. It's all about making a city more sustainable day in and day out. Then, on the other hand, you have the reconstruction agenda. This one comes into play after a catastrophe. But, and this is so important, it's not just about rebuilding what was there before. It's about using that moment as a chance to build back way smarter and way more resilient.
Of course, any plan is only as good as the data behind it, right? And this is where their analysis process gets really interesting. It's kind of like a funnel. It takes these huge national level goals and drills them all the way down to the reality of a single neighborhood or even a single street.
And the foundation for this whole thing? It's the 10 strategic objectives of the Spanish urban agenda. Now, this isn't just about ticking some boxes. This is the guiding framework that makes sure every single local project, no matter how small it seems, is actually part of a much bigger national vision for a sustainable future. And here's how they actually put that vision into practice. First, they do a super deep dive into the town itself, the environment, the economy, the social vibe, you name it. Then, and this is absolutely key, they actually go out and talk to the people who live there to make sure they've got the real story. After that, they hit the maps, analyzing every last detail of the physical space. It's only after combining all of that that they can come up with a diagnosis that's actually useful. So, it really boils down to the two most powerful inputs they have, maps and people. It's that combination of hard data from the maps and the real-world experiences of the community that makes their whole approach work. You really can't have one without the other. Let's talk about the maps for a second. For Sequoia Pro, maps are so much more than just a way to get around. They are the absolute bedrock of the entire analysis, providing that objective truth about the physical landscape. And what they're looking for goes way beyond just roads and buildings. They're mapping out all the green infrastructure, parks, rivers, that kind of thing. And, maybe most importantly, they're identifying environmental risks like flood zones or fire-prone areas. That information is absolutely critical, especially when you're working on one of those reconstruction agendas.
But here's the thing. Maps can be old, they can be wrong, and that's why the people part is just non-negotiable. As María Murcia herself says, they have to go out and talk to the community to make sure all that data is correct and up to date. It's what grounds the entire plan in the real world, not just in theory cooked up in an office somewhere.
Okay, so what makes all of this incredibly detailed local work so powerful? It's the fact that none of it is happening in a vacuum. Every single action, every plan, is designed to connect to this much larger global picture of sustainability.
So what does that actually mean? Well, by linking their work to big frameworks like the Spanish Urban Agenda, the Global 2030 Agenda, and specifically Sustainable Development Goal 11, they're making sure that even a small project in one town is contributing to a massive worldwide effort to build better cities for every single one of us.
So what's the special sauce that pulls all of this together? It's this amazing concept called nature-based solutions. We're talking about things like designing city parks that can also soak up floodwater, or planting green corridors that cool down streets during a heat wave. It's all about using nature's own genius to solve our problems, and in the process, creating benefits for the environment, for society, and for the economy, all at the same time.
At the end of the day, this is really about a fundamental shift in how we think. It's not just about sustaining what we already have, it's about actively regenerating our cities and towns. It's about weaving nature into the very fabric of our communities. So that leaves us with a pretty cool question to think about. What could your community look like if every plan started with that one simple, powerful idea?